Hi, this is Frank Rauscher again. Just wanted to start picking up from where we left off the last time. I showed you how to burn the head with that technique where I go on the leading edge and I pull out. And I try not to drag the burn that far, and you'll get a pattern that looks like this when you get done, okay? And we did the coverts, the wing coverts right over here and over here, those little ones. We burned in these here, and we also lifted these. Now what I want to try to do is take you on the journey of getting the tail going here. So I want to take the camera down so that you can see how we approach that, and we'll do some more of that, and then we'll get the body structure together. So bear with me, and I'm going to bring the camera right down. Thank you. Okay, we're back again. And I'm going to approach a couple of things, but the last thing we did when we relieved these feathers is I should have mentioned it a little bit more, and that was that I need to lift this edge all the way along this wing. Now, I'm noticing right on this last feather here, I didn't really burn it well, and let me also do something else. What you don't see is the optivisor. I want to just let you know, it helps to see better, and I use that a lot. So I am wearing an optivisor right now, and I also have other magnifiers if anybody ever needs them. So I'm not doing it to try to sell them as much as it's very helpful when you're doing this. And I'm going to come in up here a little bit and burn above here just so I can get a good stop right along that wing. Okay, so, and this is going to happen on both sides, but I want to take you on one side so you can see it, and then you can go from there. I'm going to use the diamond bullet. If you have the ruby flame, I would say you could use that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the bit right along and maybe encroach right up to the burn line. And I'm going in about half the diameter of the bit here. And I'm getting shallow as I come up here. Once I get to the end here, I'm only going half as much. But back here, I'm coming all the way around here. Okay. I don't know if you could see that. I'm going to stop the machine here and try to show you some depth. Here's the edge of the wing. I didn't want to burn that. I didn't want to touch that burn. And I've got a pretty good hollow in here. And then I have this edge right here that I just created. So I wanted to get some lift. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to get that same bit and come around here a little bit, just from about here back, just to get these feathers look like they're lifting off a little bit more. So bear with me here a second. I'm going to, again, stay away from the feather, but get close to the edge here. And I'm going to come in right along there. I still don't want to touch the feathers. I'm going to come up to this one and clean it out a little bit. So, almost took the beak off. Got to watch. We're good. We're still good. So I got some depth in there. So what I want to show you is this edge out here has to be blended back. So you're going to do this much on this side as well as this side all along here. It'd be smart to burn this in somewhat all along up to here. And then when you're cutting in, you don't want to go onto the feathers. So you're doing it outside. So you want to leave room so you don't you come right up to the burn, the existing lifting of the feathers there, and that should be okay. Now, here's the other thing we want to do. Two things are happening. We need to shape this tail. And the tail, if I measure that right, I'm going to grab my the one I finished already. And I'm going to measure that real quick here because I forgot the dimensions. Okay, we want to come in 1.5 inches. So, and this is what I mean by that. I think I made a mark on my existing one here. On the center line, yes. From the center line coming down the body here on top, I want you to measure 1.5 inches from the end of the tail in and put a dot, okay? And then what I want to do is you have, these feathers are going to narrow in, but what we have, as I said on the last video, you have too much material in here. I should have had that taken out before, but I didn't want to take anything out until we relieve these feathers. So here's your center line for the body on top. And so we came in 1.5 inches, and the reason why I say 1.5 inches, that'll be a point later that we will actually, the feathering is going to circle in on this as we come down. That'll be like your stop for where the tail feathers actually end, but they do come all the way out to this end. Now, the other thing I want you to do, you have this tapering in. So I'm going to ask you to just follow the line of action and take that and hit that little bit of an arc we started where we came in 1.5 inches, and this thing curves just slightly. And I'm going to come over on this side and take that line of action and run it right up too. So this is going to be the boundary of how wide the tail feathers get, all the way to here, and they taper back, okay? The other thing I need you to do is come to the end here. This is, each one of you probably has a certain thickness. This is probably about 1/4 inch. Sometimes I cut it a little less, a little more. But what you're doing is you want to come down roughly about 1/8 inch down. And then I want you to come arcing up to what's the center here. And then I want you to come down 1/8 on this side and then arc down to that side. Then I want you to come down 1/8 inch, which would take you probably almost to the corner, if not. And I want you to arc up, which is what you're doing, is you're mimicking this and this, okay? So that this arc is going to be the same down here. And I did the same thing over here. So we have the same thickness going right across. And if it's helpful to do this, you can come in from the side here and come straight down, and you can come this way, just to give you an idea of, you want to maintain that thickness, and you can do it on the other side too. Here it is here. I'm just drawing this straight back to there, and this one right back to there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is not only this action where we came from this point and kept drawing the line down until we hit this. I want you, if you can count, remember we did this feather 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want you to get this arc to come over and slide down and touch that fourth one. So you're sort of angling down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. I'm going to get this coming off of here, and then I'm sliding this down to where it would be hitting right there, okay? So it should be pretty close to being symmetrical. Maybe not perfect, but you have a boundary that's arcing from here all the way around to here. It's the fourth feather. You're just hitting the middle of it, whatever's exposed here, and you're hitting it in the middle of where it's exposed here. So all this material from here to here, in the same way, all of this, as you're looking straight down, all this has to come out. And remember, we still have to undercut this like I did on this side. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in with a hogging bit, and I'm going to change my diamond bullet, and I'm going to use, let me switch machines, because this one will take the 1/8 inch right now. I have to get some collets out. I have a collet that reduces from an 1/8 to 3/32, and I got to find that. So what I have, excuse me, I didn't explain. This is a tungsten carbide bit. Sometimes they're called typhoon burrs or Cutzalls or something like that. I have these available, a limited amount, but I can get them for you. And if you ever need them, they're handy. Now what I do is I run them full out, and I want to reduce some of the material. So let me just explain to you what I'm going to go after. I have this arc that comes down here. I have this line of action here, and all this in here is just too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay away from the feathers. Okay, I don't want to bang into them. And I want to taper this up. Not a straight line as much as just looping in for now. And I'm bringing all that material like sweeping up. And I'm going to clean that up a little bit. And if you're looking down on this, you can see it comes down like a straight shot. It's tapering though. And then it hits there and it swoops down. And then I want to get the material away from the feathers here. Okay, on this bottom one, I'm going to do that with a pair because I feel a little safer. This can create some havoc if you get too close to the feathers, but out here, that's perfectly fine. And you want to do the exact same thing over here. You're going to come in, you want to bring that down. So you're following this line of action down. And this will take the material out pretty fast. And then I'm going to get close to the feathers, but I have to do the undercutting like I did on the other side. I'm just trying to do one side so you could do the other, but I just wanted to show you that these pull right in now. Okay, I hope you can see that well. Now, the other thing we want to achieve, remember we drew the lines down here, and we got my finger in the way there, you can't do that. And I have the lines coming down, they come all the way down to about here, and all the way down to about here. You got to get to this arc, which is 1.5 inches down, remember that. And then this line is coming down. Okay, and these are about 1/8 inch apart. Now, let me shut this off for a second. All the material above this arc, I'm going to chamfer. I'm going to throw that hogging bit in here, knocking that down so that I have a 45-degree chamfer going through here and the same way over there. And I want to maintain this arc. And what you're doing is you're going to take a roll from the center. It's going to have a little bit of a flat in there, and then it's going to roll down to this pencil line. Okay, let me just heavy that up so you can see it better. And I'm going to do that on both sides. All this material here is going to go away. So watch me here. I'm going to go in with the hogging bit. I'm going to go on I'm using the barrel end of it, not the front end. And I'm laying this along here. And I'm taking it down to the pencil line. And I don't want to lose that arc, so I'm just going to undercut right up to that arc. And what I want to highlight for you is, there's the pencil line. I took it down to there. Now, got another edge. It moved from here up to here. I'm going to ask you to transition that to the center. So I'm going to come in and take some of this down and just skim it by the time I get to the center. But I need a nice rollover, so I maintain this arc at the end on top. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in on this corner, and I'm looking to see how much I'm taking going down to make it look like the other side. I don't want to go into the arc, so I'm going to undercut just right up to the arc. And then I'm going to roll this up to the center. I want to get the saw marks out. Even if you lose the center line, no big deal, but it's like the center line would be like the high point, and then everything rolls down on either side. And you can see it. That's what I'm trying to achieve. But you got to get the saw marks out that may have been left when I did the bandsaw. Okay? So we want to accomplish that much. Now, there's one other thing I want to do too. The rump in the back also has to get in, and that's 1.25 inches down. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure on the back side, on the center line here, 1.25 inches. I'm going to put a dot right there. And then, let's see. Then what's going to happen is, this is going to flow this way, right to the edge. It's again, it's a slight arc. Well, it's a sharp arc, I should say. It almost goes into a point, and you want to go here. So to give a distance down, I'll try to approximate this. It's about 1/2 inch down, and then it goes out almost to the edge here, okay? And what that is it's a boundary, because see this arc we have on the back of the tail here? This one right here? We are going to hollow this out, and we're going to take it down to this line, and we're going to take it down to this line. Okay, on the back side here, so follow me here. So I'm going to lay this down the middle, right down the middle, and you want to check how deep you got to go to get to the pencil line. So I'll lay that a little bit more, and we're getting there. See, I reached it now. Now I'm going to transfer out. I'm making it concave, so I'm coming up, following my pencil line. See that? Yep. You got to watch on this side. It tends to want to wrap around, so be very gentle when you're coming towards yourself. Another way to treat it is to go to the center and go out. Now, I'm a lefty, so not every one of these are going to go in the same direction. Now, this V we have in here, I want you to leave that line in place, but I want you to come in here and come up to it. And I want this concave in here. So the same arc that we have here, I don't want to do it all the way down or get it pretty close. Just start hollowing it out. We'll finalize this as we go. I see I didn't take everything out properly on top, so I'm going to touch that up. Now on this side, I lay in the middle and I lift and come up, and I want to come up, and you should be able to control it up to the pencil line. For those who are right-handed, you probably have a better shot on the other side, like doing it the other way. But there we go. So now I have a dished area in here. It's all scooped out. It's now completely 1/8 of an inch thick right across. So now, once we get this all done, and you can come in and smooth it out a little bit. If you have a pear or a diamond, you can go back over this. And you can also sand it. You can get a piece of sandpaper or a sanding stick. And what I'd like you to do is come in and sand this smooth. Like you can get one of these and just sand that all out. Because what we're going to do is we're going to draw feathers on here on the next video. And that will prepare the surface so it's nice and smooth. And if you did anything where it's got a little bump or two, you can get that all out and get it nice and smooth. Then you have the mark at the end here, which is still there, is the center line. And you got the center line down here. And you just want to draw that straight line right back, because that will give us direction on how to put the feathers in, you know, the size of them and everything else. Now, the last thing I want to show you is this here. This is that edge we left for the drop wing. It comes all the way around to here. I'm going to go back and get my pear this time. And I'm going to put the pear in. This is a ruby pear. But if you have a diamond pear, that'll work just as well. And what I need you to do now is I want to go in here. I don't want to touch the wing, the drop wing here, this here portion. I want to blend this back into the body here. So watch how I approach that. I come in here, I start rolling it around towards the center here. Not taking a lot of material out, I'm just trying to get rid of that edge. And what happens is, it allows that wing to separate from the breast. Doesn't have to be that great, and you can come around the corner here a little bit, just to roll that edge a little bit. We've got a lot more to do back here. But for now, at least you're getting that, any remnant of that edge should blend back into the body. So you're rolling that around. And if you see anything, then you got to take more out. it should blend back. Okay, and I'm trying to get as close as I can here so you can see that without getting blurry-eyed here. And you're going to do the exact same thing on this side. I'm just trying to expedite the time by showing you one side, but you need to do the same thing on the other. If you have too much of a flat, then I'm going to ask you to come in, roll it some more, you know. And what you end up doing is getting like a crease, which is about from here to here, coming around, okay? So that's a good start. So we will, on the next video, we'll mark out the feathering on the top here, and we'll get that done. And I'll show you how to lift the feathers on that. Then we're going to do the other side. Then we're going to get the rump in place. And in the meantime, we're really going to have to cut in here. I'll show you on my original piece. You can see there's a lot of separation back in here on this wren. The wing really goes all the way back. So you open up, this rump is got to go inward. So we will take out more material. You can see how the tail, how it necks in here. And this is all concave. You know, this is that arc that we have. It arcs at the top and it arcs underneath here. So we will develop that as we go, but this will be the start of it. So if you can accomplish this much, I'd appreciate it. And then what we'll do is we'll get, on the next video, we'll go for the tail feathers, and then we'll do the top first. That's a must. And you want to clean this up as well too, okay? So see you on the next video. I hope you got something from this. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. And if you can subscribe to my channel, that would be great too. The other thing, if you ever need patterns, and this is on any of the projects I had done before, or even the wren, or eyes or feet or anything like that, I do have them available, kits. I have a small catalog that does, I do sell the burners, and I do sell the like the ram grinder and what have you, and I do have those available if you're looking for them. So if you need any help on anything here, feel free to make comments in the comment section of the video, or get a hold of my email and email me, and I'll be glad to help you out wherever I can. So hope again that you got something out of it this time, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.